If you've ever felt like your marketing is reactive, last minute, or chaotic, you're not alone. But this episode is going to give you a clear roadmap for planning a year of content, events, and campaigns that actually can attract patients. So if you're interested, stick around. Welcome to the TCM Teach podcast, the business podcast designed exclusively for acupuncturists and herbalists who want to run thriving, organized practices without feeling overwhelmed by marketing. I'm Matthew Sabi Smith, a licensed acupuncturist, herbalist, professor, entrepreneur, and today we're talking about marketing calendars, how to plan, schedule, and execute your outreach so it's consistent, intentional, and of course, stress-free. So let's dive in right after my disclaimer. Please remember, I am simply a practitioner here to support you on your journey. The information shared in this podcast is intended for educational and learning purposes only. So for guidance specific to your business, please consult with the appropriate licensed professional. Thank you. So why a marketing calendar might matter or why it could help you? Consistency. You've heard me say this in so many episodes on so many different reasons. Consistency. It's no different with marketing. Marketing is all about consistency. It's going to build trust with potential clientele, patients, however you refer to them. Planning prevents last-minute stress and reactive marketing. Reactive marketing you can kind of think of as a money grab. You're just trying to get something, trying to get one client into the door because you're desperate. We don't want to act out of desperation. That is an energy that we do not want to work with whatsoever. We want to be stable and planned so we can move forward steadily and feel ready. We don't want stress or reactive marketing. It doesn't go well. A calendar is going to be a good way to align promotions, education, and events with your clinic priorities. If you're a solo practitioner right now, or you are the boss and you have some people under you, then it is your job to push that marketing. You should be the one who is the mastermind behind it all. Of course, you can hire marketing agencies and things of that nature, which is great, but you still should be playing an integral role in how that is being carried out because you still need to be the mastermind of knowing exactly what it is you want and what you're looking for from even if you're using a company. And if you're not using a company, if you're trying to do this all on your own, maybe you're first starting out, then definitely listen up because this will probably help you even more. What I want you to understand is a marketing calendar is going to be a really good starting place for an intentional and effective outreach strategy. Nothing is more frustrating than creating a product or a clinic and then having nobody come through the door. I'm sure you've heard the saying, build it and they will come, right? So you've probably heard that before. And while that can be true in certain regard, there is still some marketing that goes into play. Did you have a grand opening event? Did you do outreach before the opening? Or did you just open the doors and hope they showed up? Well, maybe you set up in a place where you did your research ahead of time, where when people walk by, it's easier to understand what it is that you do. Maybe you have a good name for your clinic. There's a lot of things that go into it instead of just build it and they will come. What you don't want to do is build a clinic somewhere where no one knows where you are, they can't find you, they're never going to see you, and then you can't really get frustrated if no one shows up because there's no way to find you, right? So what we want to do is prevent that scenario and help you find ways to market your clinic to get the people you want through the door. So what are some core components of a simple marketing calendar? You're going to look at content planning, events and community outreach, seasonal campaigns, and follow-up systems. So I'm going to dive into that further. Content planning. This is social media posts, emails, blogs, videos. This is when we're going to think about the online outreach. Of course, there is always in person, which events and community outreach. You can put on talks, workshops, You can go to the farmers markets. You can do partnerships. Local businesses who are even next to you just pop in. Hey, I'm Dr. Matt. I run this clinic over here. I just opened up. Would love to know what you do. Would love to do some cross referral. What kind of people come through your door? What do you typically see? What are the busy times people are coming in? Is there a way I can help you? If you can offer value to another business that has nothing to do with yours, that's still a really great way to break the ice and want to help each other. And I've had friendships pop up simply from doing things like that as well. So it's very pleasant. It just takes a little effort to be like, hey, I'm over here. I'd love to know what you do. How can I support you? Here's how you can support me. Here's my card. Maybe you can set up some cards next to the local coffee shop or something. I've had some pretty crazy stories of seeing how that played out for people, where even my wife actually, she put her business card in this random coffee shop, and that opened up a huge career path for her that was extremely lucrative to this day because someone saw her business card in a coffee shop. So don't scrap that idea. It still works. Okay, seasonal campaigns. You can run holiday specials. You can have wellness awareness months or certain conditions for the month or something. Seasonal promotions or seasonal newsletters. I have some friends who run a great clinic who put out great newsletters, and I highly recommend them. If you want to look them up, it's the place called Ohm. It is my good friends Jess and Oscar. They run a fantastic clinic down in Mesa, Arizona. Highly recommend subscribing to their newsletter. They do a really great job, and they provide a lot of great education content. And I didn't tell them I was going to promote them, but they're really great people. They do good work, and I want them to be recognized for that. So the place called Ohm, O-M, subscribe to their newsletter. It's really good. Okay, next. Yeah, the follow-up systems, emails, patient education, and reminders. That's key. Make sure you have the retention. Make sure you work with the people that you currently have, because the last thing you want is to have people stop their continuity of care just for their well-being. So that way we have really good preventative care going rather than just reactive care. Because we don't want our marketing to be that way either. We don't want our marketing to be reactive, right? So I want you to understand that to include all the touch points, we're not just posting things. We're not just hoping for the algorithm to work, right? We have to put in effort. So we want to see the full marketing picture. I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. A lot of times when people get onto certain podcasts or into certain magazines or into certain videos or movies, or these people are pitching themselves often to these shows. They're not always reached out to. So I have a lot of entrepreneur friends where when I see them show up on something, hey, so that's really cool you were on that show. Oh yeah, I pitched myself. Or, I've even had friends who have their own Netflix special. How did you do that? Oh, I just pitched the idea to them. I thought it was really cool. And they said, yeah, let's do a special on it. So I want you to know that little secret is it's not just about people reaching out to you. It's you doing the active outreach to other people, other businesses, other partnerships. And that's what's going to drive a lot of the success in any industry. Okay, next, aligning marketing with your clinic goals. This is very important. You don't want to be pushing one thing in one direction, but you're actually working towards another. You want to identify your business priorities first before you start your marketing campaigns. New patient acquisition, patient retention, education, or specialty promotion. Pick one. What is your goal? And what is the ultimate outcome you want from that? And be specific about the revenue that you want, the return on investment from your marketing campaign. Even if you're not paying for marketing, understand the return that you want on the investment. So when you schedule content and events, you want to make sure that it's supporting those goals. For example, when you see me posting my content, I am trying to push my podcast, right? To help entrepreneurs like yourselves create better businesses. And then I drive you to, hey, if you want to dive further, check out my Patreon, right? There's resources there. And if you want to dive further than that, well, maybe we should talk about working together through coaching, for example, through my business coaching, for example. So there, and I have no problem just being transparent about that, because this is how you learn, right? The idea is you want them to see something, and then how do you get them to where you want to lead them? How can you provide the best service for people? What is going to be the most effective service for others, and how is that going to come back in return for you as a practitioner and as a business with revenue and hopefully personal satisfaction? You want to avoid fillers. You want to cut out a lot of noise. So every action that you take should have intention and purpose. Marketing without alignment is going to be wasted effort. That's the bottom line. So aligned marketing is going to be consistent patient growth, or more sales of your education courses, or your promotions are going to be more successful. You're going to have more patient retention. Whatever your goal is, establish it and be as specific as possible. Next, planning and scheduling tips. You want to map out your monthly themes or topics ahead of time. So if you're doing a focus on fertility for a month, then you want all of your marketing to be aligned around fertility that month, if that's what you're trying to push. If you are one who likes to work with fertility patients, for example. So providing a lot of education, providing specials, providing maybe certain products, all geared towards the goal of what you established for the clinic that month. You can use weekly posting rhythms for social media and email. Like I was saying, if your focus were fertility, for example, just keep on that track for, say, it's the month of, I don't know, March or something. You can batch content creation to save time. Again, if I don't want you to just think I'm talking about batch creating TikToks or or something, or Instagram Reels. I'm talking about if you're doing newsletters. It can help to batch create your newsletters. If you're doing a podcast like me, it can help to do multiple podcasts in a row for, say, a month in advance. So that way you're ready to go and everything's planned out. And it can be helpful to include reminders as well for if you have an event coming up, making sure you're showing up in people's inboxes, email, newsletters, whatever, for the events or campaigns and follow-ups. And key takeaway here I want you to get is planning in advance is really going to help reduce stress on you, and it's going to increase consistency. Because I always like to say that things are going to take sometimes more than twice as long as you think they're going to take. Sometimes it doesn't happen all at once, and you have learning curves that you have to overcome. So one of my big things that I try to say is get your workflows down. So once you do it on 1 month, you're going to learn that'll probably take you twice as long as when you do it 3 months from now. If you've been doing this consistently every month, it'll get easier with time, and you'll find more efficient ways to accomplish what you're trying to do. But be patient with yourself. Give yourself a little grace here, and just understand it's going to feel like a lot at first, but as you get a workflow down, it's going to get easier with time. And then you'll end up, what took you a week may take you a day, believe it or not. Okay, so tools and templates for success. So things you can potentially use. You can use a digital calendar. That could be great. Google Calendar, Notion, Trello, Airtable. You can use color-coded categories. So you can color code like the content you're making, the events you're running, the promotions you're running, and leaving yourself reminders to make sure things go out when you want them to. Pre-made templates for things like social media, emails, and event promotion. Things like Canva can be easy for that. Analytic check-ins to make sure engagement is where you want it to be, or at least If you see something doing really well, or people opened a particular newsletter, see how you formatted it. Or if you noticed a newsletter underperformed compared to the last one, what did you do different? Did your buttons look different? Did your links not work? Did you include a video on the last one? What creates the engagement? So email systems like Kit, MailChimp, there's so many out there. Those are just examples of what I've used. They can show you those analytics, and it's very easy. Okay, so what's the TCM lens on marketing and planning? You heard me talk about E and Shen before. I'm going to add in Chi this time too. So when we have E, or intellect, I also want you to think about intention here. So each marketing action should serve your patients. Doesn't matter about other people's patients. Like, what do your patients need? What are your current clinic goals? Your presence with your Shen is really important because your marketing should reflect the calm, trustworthy energy of your clinic. And I want you to think about Qi flow here, right? When we don't have flow of Qi through meridians, then we have stagnation. A consistent rhythm keeps your outreach smooth and sustainable. Consistent flow of Qi. As it begins to flow more easily, it continues to flow easily, right? When Qi and blood is flowing together easily, it's only a problem when we create stagnation. What would that in this case be? Things like stress, not planning enough, that can create stagnation, right? That literally can create liver Qi stagnation. And we don't want that. Because marketing, we don't want it to be about the hustle. We want to be consistent, but we don't want to feel like we're doing sprints all the time either. We want to be sustainable. It's about being intentional, being smart, staying aligned with your energy, and reaching your patients effectively. So a marketing calendar ultimately transforms chaos, what could be chaos or maybe has been chaos for you in the past, into more clarity. So by planning your content, your events, and your campaigns ahead of you, you can create a system that consistently engages patients or prospective clients. It can build trust, and you can grow your practice. All at the same time, you could also be freeing up your energy for doing what matters more to you, whether it's managing a clinic, whether it's actually working with patients, whether it's running events, representing Chinese medicine or herbalism. So keep that in mind when it comes to all this. So if you want to dive in further, if you want step-by-step layouts or further resources for building a marketing calendar, batching content, and scheduling outreach for the year, check out the Practitioner Hub membership under the TCM Teach on Patreon. That's me. So that's where I provide ready-to-use frameworks and educational downloads pertaining to every episode subject matter. All right, so there's that. In our next episode, we are going to dive into leveraging testimonials and case studies ethically, and ultimately how that actually can help you and your business. So until then, thank you for tuning in to the TCM Teach podcast, and we will see you next time.